let's go ahead and do one of these. And I kind of want to do this tractor. So we're going to start there. And the idea is you can do multiple stamps at a time too and have them all lined up where you want them. So I just have a piece of regular cardstock here. The other joy of it is once you put this in here and you hold it down with the magnet, it's not going anywhere on you, right? Or if it does slip and move, you just tuck it right back down here in this corner and everything is lined up where it needs to be. So open these. And then you put it with the stamp side, the part that you're actually get, like the part that's going to be the image that stamps. And these have never been used, so I'm just going to rub it really fast. Where you want it. And I'm going to cut these out, so it doesn't really matter where I put them right now, but I'm just going to, just for the sake of saying, if I wanted this to be perfectly on my card front, this way, if you forget to stamp something or you weren't sure what sentiment you wanted until you were done, you can add it to your card without the worry of messing things up as bad or at all. Okay, and then I want this little tractor trailer or the little hay bale trailer. They kind of stick to your paper too while you're putting them there, so that's kind of handy. So basically the idea is get them where you want them, close the lid, press. That sticks your stamp to it. See how it's kind of pulling my paper too because it's a newer one. So I just messed up the alignment of my paper. Not a big deal. You just put it right back into its corner and it'll stay there. Then I'm going to slide this over so you can see. Maybe put some paper underneath there. Better, maybe. I've just been using this Lawn Fawn River Rock because it works really well with Copic markers. It stays on. There's a number of them that you can try. I already have the Lawn Fawn open, so that's the one I'm using. Okay, I'm not going to ink it super well because I want you to see what happens when it's not done great. Okay, move this out of the way. And then you just close the lid again. I'm not going to press hard. I just want to show you. It's still really, really good, right? I'm not too happy with the way that turned out. It's because the tire is inside a little bit more than that is too. But see how it's still kind of faded right there? And you would need another go with the ink. I wouldn't have been able to line it up again. So with this MISTI, or any stamping platform for that matter, you just re-ink your stamp and stamp it again. You can press hard. You don't have to press at all. You can press and rub. It doesn't matter because this isn't going to slide. And then you open it again and see how much darker it is. It's gorgeous. Okay, what we're going to do next is practice some masking with this, which is not my strong suit because I'm still just learning how to do it. And I think this will be kind of a fun way. I've seen a couple different ways to do this. I know a lot of times people like line it up and then they stamp on something else and then they cut that something else out. I've also seen them tape parts off and then stamp. So I want these mice to be riding in that tractor, in this little tractor wagon, right? And they need to go inside the little railings, right? So I'm just going to line up the mice stamp with the bottom, like this bottom edge of my stamp with the bottom edge of that. You just stamp it, and then I can just go ahead and close the door, pick up my stamp, ink it. Don't ink it yet. We need to mask it off. So I don't want any of them showing. If I were going to be like super picky about it, which I might be later, I would want to go like in between all those lines too. But right now I'm just going to mask off that whole bit. Okay, so now all that's going to show up is the mice and part of their grass. Let's just look and see, make sure that they're clearing. I don't think I'm going to get any of the grass that way. I might move this down just a tad or move them up. I want to move them up. So we'll just do this. I'm going to move them up a rung. And then I can either draw some grass in there later, or I can, I'll just adjust and see how it goes. See what I like as we go. That's kind of where this is nice too. You can kind of like feel things out first before you actually like commit to the ink, which I don't know about you, but I get the idea in my head and then I do it, and it was I had the order of operation wrong or something, and it messes it up, and then I have to start over, and then I'm super frustrated because why can't I figure this out? And this is just going to kind of take all of that frustration away. Okay. Then you just remove your masking tape. And then if there's lines like right there that don't quite match up and you want them to go closer, you can use a black pen, like if you've got the Copic fine liner, or if you've got Copic, if you've got just a black pen in general. Like in this case, that's not even really enough to worry about. If anything, I would be more worried about connecting my tractor, but I think I'm probably going to cut them out and then move them over. We're going to make 4.25 by 5.5 card, and I've already seen some of the goodies. So I'm going to use this for the card front, and I have backed a bunch of my die cuts with this. It's called Craft Perfect double-sided tissue tape, and it's made by Tonic Studios. I'm going to pop out a few things, and we made this in the video about using the MISTI. So if you want to see how to do a repeating pattern with a sentiment, that is in that basic ways to use your MISTI, or ways to make a stamping platform worth the money. So I'm just going to start with this and glue this down, and then we will attach the rest of the stuff. And then I'm also going to make a scrapbook layout using the same paper and the same sentiment, or not sentiments, but die cuts. So basically how to use die cuts on a scrapbook page also. Okay. This one I just want a little pop of color behind it, because I should have stamped in color, but it was mostly just for a demo, and then I was like, hey, I could use that. So that stuck kind of fast. Okay, this is going to go inside the card. It really doesn't take much to make something fun and thoughtful. So there's that, and then this I just stamped and colored, and then I used the Lawn Fawn. There's like a die cut that does all these little clouds, and I just tore it apart and used this for a stencil and kind of did different colors with ink. I used this chipped sapphire, I think, and a lighter blue, and then I've done a bunch of these little corn pieces, and I did those with the backing of that Craft Perfect. It's also on like these corn pieces, and this I used Rustic Wilderness and peeled paint and scattered straw for the corn pieces, and for this I used the peeled paint and the Rustic Wilderness for the grass. And I just kind of went up into that stamped image and colored it, and then also inked around it, but mostly just to kind of give it the color that it needs before I put these down. So we're going to go ahead and take this off. I've foam dotted the backs of each of these, the wagon and the mice and the chicken and the tractor. I did a mask on, so I stamped the tractor, then I masked it and put the chicken inside the tractor, and I did that 2 times. This one I actually stamped on my cardstock that has like a little bit of texture, so it's just got a little bit more visual oomph. And then I fussy cut them. I couldn't use the die cuts to cut them because it's because I had already I could have used it for this one, but I knew I couldn't use it for this one, so I just fussy cut them both so that they look the same. I couldn't use the die cut on this or the mice because they're overlapped from the way that I masked them and then stamped them. Okay, so basically this video is just going to show you 2 different ways to use these stamps, once for a card and then once for a scrapbook layout. Okay. And then I'm going to, so I ran this, I backed my paper with that double-sided tissue tape, and then I ran this through my die cut machine, my Big Shot. So it's already adhesive, or it's already like got adhesive stuck to the back of it. I'm going to switch this one out for one that's already lost its backing. And this one. Which I'm fairly impressed with it. It comes off pretty easy. It's a really good tack. It's super easy to use. I'm actually liking it a lot. I think I'm going to end up using it a lot, which is good because it's a huge roll. Okay, and then I just need a little bit of, I lost the puffies. Oh, there they are. I know these have glue on the back of them too, so, for that transfer tape. And I wanted to stick this heart on the inside by one of these, probably like right in there. Just for a little splash of color, and because I already had it cut out. And oh, it's got that stuff on it too. I didn't need to glue it. Note to self, that backing stuff doesn't stick to your glue. If I can. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to put this on, and I've already got foam tape on the back of that, and I'm just going to set it down here. And then I'm going to run some of this art glitter glue all across the back. And you can see where I colored that with my Copics. I don't know that there's ever been a consensus on how to say those properly. Okay. And let's let that sit and dry, and it is done. Cute, easy. I'm not going to say fast because I did all kinds of other stuff in between, but I like coloring, so even if it takes a little bit of time, it's kind of just one of those things I like to do anyway. So there's that. And then we'll move on and do a scrapbook layout using the rest of these stamps that I have already cut and colored. This is the pile, and then a few pattern papers and a couple photo elements. And to make the layout, we're going to use this 12 by 12 paper pack from Farmer's Market, or from Doodlebug, and it's called Farmer's Market. And I've just cut a bunch of strips of the pattern paper that I like and that I want to use, and I'm going to do a 4x6 focal point for the photo. So this is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and then the brown is 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. That'll be my photo mount that goes up here, and we're just going to do some like distressing and tearing on the edges of some of these to use, and then just a few elements from the sticker pack plus the die cuts that we've already got cut out. And then this was one of the sentiments that was cut too, so I'm going to distress ink the edges of that, and we will be ready to start. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've got some of these that were already sticky that I'm going to use on the or on the layout too. So I'm going to just ink the edges of this sentiment, and then anything else that I kind of want colored or to have like kind of that distressed look. The edges of the photo mount. Just because I feel like fall's a little bit more like cozy and kind of that shabby chic. And then I'll probably mount these and then kind of get a feel for where I want them, and then we'll decide how to layer the pattern papers and then start tearing edges for that. So first let's run some glue on here. I'm going to try, since I've got the Nuvo going on with the sticky tissue paper, we'll use the Nuvo for the back of this too, and just kind of give it a test run. And I used the art glitter on the card, but so we'll kind of get a little bit of all of those in play. If you're wondering what adhesives you should be using for your crafting, I have a video on where I did a review of 5 different liquid adhesives, and there will be a tape runner one added shortly. So check that out if you're curious. It was a green, this one. I kind of wanted to do some offset with this green on there too. So maybe like that. And then this Farm Fresh kind of up here. I'm just kind of layering some papers to see what I think, and how I want all this to go. There's a couple other sayings in here that I was going to stack along with this journal, so we'll do that in a second. Right now I just want to see what order I want to put these in and how long I want them, and then get those torn. So we've got these 3 colors, and I know the Farm Fresh is actually sideways, but I don't care. I just wanted it for that like touch of white in there. And I don't think I necessarily want them all to be underneath that photo mount, so I think I'm going to do this. And then you can kind of overlap and make them crooked too if you want to. This one I think I can get 2 out of, so I'm going to tear this direction once and then just kind of tear the opposite. The way that you pull towards you is what kind of leaves that edge, and I want that white core to kind of pop out, and then I'm going to ink it. So I'm going to tear these 2, just get a feel. And I want this side. So some of these I just cut 12 inches by like ½ inch, 12 inches by 1 inch, 12 by 1 1/4 inches, and then some of them are the opposite sides. Like if you flip them over, you'll see both patterns. I got this green one in there twice. I'm not sure if I'll use it both times or not. Let's see. Put that one there. Maybe this green over here too, to kind of border it off like that, and we'll make them all fit underneath this green. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way and these, and I want to ink this. Anything that's not a pattern, I think I'm going to ink, and then I'll probably, I don't know if I want to ink the bottom of those or not. Let's see. I'm going to leave a little bit of this not glued on the edge just so I can kind of tuck under it. I want that about right there. And then let's just see what it looks like to have just the end inked. That's not terrible. Okay. So if you have a tape runner, you could be using that also, especially for longer strips like this. I kind of want that out. I have one, but I just didn't break it out yet, so I'll just keep using glue. Lord knows I've got enough of it right now. I want this one up a little higher. Oops, I forgot to ink those. And I just kind of want that like distressed, like almost kind of, I don't want to say dirty look, but it's just kind of that shabby, kind of a soil effect for fall harvest and all that. It's not a clean process. So, okay. I think, and that one was, I'm going to put this one along the top. I think I'll just ink it right now too. Okay, because this is going to go like right in there like that. And then I just need to glue a few more of these down. And I kind of want a little bit of space in between this one. And I want this one up a little higher, I think. And then this one kind of hanging over the two. And then this one is going to be behind the photo, so I think I'm going to bring it down just a little and kind of butt it up against the edge, because the top part will be behind that photo mount, so you'll never know that it was shorter. That was one that I just had a scrap of, and so I was using up what I had. This one towards the top. And I think I'm going to go a little wonky with it just for visual. And maybe down just a little right in there. And then this one, we haven't used that pattern. I think, yeah, I'll just save that white for the top so that it's just kind of its own little visual appeal there up at the top. And then I think that's probably enough. Let's just look and see. I kind of just want that idea of ribbons with the pattern paper, and then I was going to run this along the bottom, and it's just one of those sentiment strips that came with that Doodlebug pattern paper. So I'm going to mount this right here, kind of over this direction, and then I'm just going to decorate with those with the die cuts that I've already cut out. Okay, but I wanted to get kind of my baseline and my base pattern papers and stuff on there first, and then use those just for an accent. I'm not really creating a scene with them. I wanted, like you would on a card. I mean, you can on a scrapbook page, but where the photo is supposed to be your focal, I kind of just like to use those for like support. So run this along the bottom. Hopefully that's not quite in screen. Here you go. I'm going to lift this up over it. Here we go. Okay, so then I've got these little corn pieces, and I'm going to just kind of randomly stick them down here in the corner. I have the sentiments still to use, but I want to get some of these on there too. I know I had dark green too. More in the back. I think back there. I'm not going to use this last kind of goldish one. I think I tuck this, like these guys, like right here. They've got the adhesive on the back of them too. It's that same stuff. Tonic Studios tissue, double-sided tissue tape. And I'm just going to tuck them underneath this Thankful for You ribbon so that they're kind of just hanging out there. And then this little sign was cute too. I might do it up in the top corner. If there's a smaller sticker, I might put that on there. Otherwise, I might come back and do like a little, one of the stamps that goes with it. And I definitely want to use the tractor. And I was contemplating the cheese. So let's just look and see what we've got here. We've got a tractor and the cheese. I kind of wanted the cheese on there. I kind of wanted the mice sitting with them too. So maybe we'll just do something like that. Or we'll do, let's skip the cheese and the mice for now. We'll save them for a card. We'll do the tractor and the hay bale, and then the pumpkins. I think I want the pumpkins over here. And then we can do the sentiments in this spot and call it good. It's ready for a photo. Oh, and I've got the journal tag too. So that's gonna be kind of a, I can't get this one apart. It's gonna be a focal point too. So okay. Put that right there. And if this goes off the edge, I think I'm just going to trim it where it goes off the edge of the paper. Oh, this one doesn't have the, you can kind of tell when it has that stuff on it or it doesn't, because you can see your coloring or you can't see your coloring. And it didn't go off the edge. That's good. This one has it on there. You can see my coloring's kind of underneath the layer of paper. Nobody's driving this tractor. Might have to find a driver. I colored a mouse. That'll work perfect. We will just tuck him behind. Hope he's not, I keep wanting to pull them apart. They don't have anything stuck to them. This one does though. So we'll put him back there driving. Okay. Some pumpkins. kind of back here in the back, tucked in. I think I don't have any more grass. If I had an extra grass, I'd put it on there. I might have to make one later. And then I think we'll have a happy fall over here. And if you want to like foam dot any of this, that would be, I mean, just more dimension is always good too. I'm debating whether I want this journal part on there. I think you could do that. I think that works. Okay, so I'm going to ink this. Oops. And then probably give it a tear along the bottom and ink it again. These are a little harder because this is like the color that it was, and I had to cut it out. I guess I could have torn like where the label of the paper was at the bottom, but I wasn't anticipating tearing when I did it, so it was already cut out. So it's easier to have a decent amount of paper to be able to grab onto. And I think I want that kind of like this. Okay. So run some of the glue on the back. Kind of tucking it under that photo mount just a little, right to the edge of the paper. And then I'm going to ink each of these. And I don't think I'm going to use any stickers just because we kind of filled up the page pretty well with what we had. And I don't really see any that I really, really want to use right now. So I'm just going to call that good. I want this one to kind of offset to the side. And then this white and this white and this white kind of create a triangle. The journaling kind of does too, but it's going to be its own thing. So design wise, I think we did it. Okay, so there you go. 2 different ways to use die cuts. We've got that, and we've got our card that we made earlier. And if you have any questions, let me know. Make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell for notifications and leave a comment. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to see, let me know. And thanks for watching.